again, fellow comic book addicts. This is Joe from Black Box Silver and Bronze. You want to see some more comics? Stick around, and I'll show you what I've got in this stack. So that stack of comics that I just showed you were comics that I picked up over the Thanksgiving weekend. For the holiday, I went out to California and visited my parents, my sister, and my nephews. And on the Friday after Thanksgiving, I spent the morning repairing my parents' patio door. The sliding glass door needed some new wheels on the bottom. So I was running back and forth to Home Depot, getting the wheels and the parts. I took care of that. Had a couple of hours left in the day, and I drove up to Santa Margarita to a antique store I like to visit called The Barn. And I don't know about you, but when I was a kid and I used to go to antique stores, they had old stuff in there. But now when I go to antique stores, they have stuff that I grew up with. So I don't know what's going on. It's not old stuff anymore. But I went up there hoping to look for some comics, and I went around, I made a circle around the store, and I went in, I went to the right, went all the way around the store. I looked everywhere where I thought comics would be, any place where they had paper stuff. And I didn't find any till I got all the way back to the beginning, and it was right in the case. If I had turned left instead of right, I would have seen their stack of comics. And unfortunately, they had some comics. They even had some old ones. The older ones they had were like Sad Sack, but there's nothing I was looking for. But while I was digging around in the store, there was this one section that had a bunch of books, and I was looking through it. I found something very interesting. I found this. It's Mother Goose Pets. Now, it is not a comic book, but it's really cool. This is a book, and it's on linen. And if I bring it in close here, you can see that it says 1918. So this was a book from 1918, and it's just some nursery rhymes. It's 5 or 10 pages. Most of it's black and white, but the centerfold is in cover, and it's pretty neat. And the front and back cover are in color too. And so what I found very interesting about this was my grandmother, God rest her soul, was born in 1916. She was from a family of 9 children, and she was the second youngest of 9. She was born in 1916, and this was printed in 1918. So this could have been something that she had in her family, a book like this. And it's on linen. It's very interesting. Have any of you ever seen anything like this before? I thought that was really cool. I got that for only a couple of bucks. After leaving there, that's all I found at the antique store, but it was a really nice antique store. A lot of cool stuff in there. I was driving down back to my parents' house, and I had to go by San Luis Obispo. That's the town where my son is going to college, so I visit there once in a while. They have 2 comic book stores in town, and I hit this one called Captain Nemo's. And I just went to look only in their new boxes because I had just been there recently on a trip, and they have a box near the register that they kind of have new stuff in. You go up some stairs, and there's a glass case where they put new stuff, and they have another box of new stuff. So I dug through there, and I found a couple of interesting things. This is a German comic. It's called Fix und Foxy. And I tried to translate it, and the only thing that translated was the und is and. So this is Fix and Foxy. And it's just a children's comic, kind of like Harvey type stuff. Pretty neat. I think this was from the 60s, if I remember correctly. Found that. And then in one of the boxes, they had a stack of Archies that I was going through, and I pulled out a handful. This was one that I had been looking for. This is Betty and Veronica, number 269. And I just like that cover with the angel and the devil on it. I thought it was really cute, the Dan Parent cover. And I read this while I was at my parents' on Thanksgiving. And what's really interesting about this is it's got 3 panels on every page. Each page is just one rectangle across the top, one across the middle, and one across the bottom. And it's showing you what Archie's doing, what Betty's doing, what Veronica's doing, all at the same time. And it follows the course of a day. So it shows them sleeping and getting up for school in the morning, running late for school, what they're, eating breakfast, getting dressed, whatever, what happens throughout the day, what happens at night, and then it ends with them going back to bed. So it was a really neat story, and I was able to pick that one up. And then when I was digging through the boxes, I found a couple of other Archie title ones that were really cool. So I found this Betty and Veronica, number 95. And I got this one because I also got Jughead, number 76. All right. And maybe you can see that these are two parts of the story, The House of Riverdale. It's part 2 and part 3. And they almost are connecting covers. They're not connecting covers, but they almost do connecting. And so there's a third one, which they did not have the first part of the story, which takes place in Archie, and it's Archie number 442. And that cover is Archie and I think Jughead going into the front door of the house. So they almost stack on top of each other. It's a pretty cool concept. And I'm looking forward to finding that third one and reading that story. It seems pretty interesting. It's an old house in Riverdale that they're going to knock down, and Archie and the gang are trying to save it historically, but it looks like there's some ghosts and stuff there. I found this Jughead, which I had been looking for. I just like the cover with Jughead as a vampire. I thought that was cute. And I found that one. And then I found one other Jughead I was looking for. This is from a free comic book day. And this is when the Archie gang are at the Jeppy's Entertainment Museum. And you can see an actual, real picture of it in the background. And that's the guy who I think started Diamond Distributors or something. And he's got an entertainment museum with a lot of comics and other pop culture memorabilia. And so in here, the gang goes there, and Archie's like a night watchman, and there's some guy trying to steal the comics and everything. Cute story. And I was looking for that one. And so I was happy to find that one. And then this one I just saw when I was digging through. I've never seen it before. This is Hellcat number 1. And it's a pretty cool cover, I thought. I read the story, and it's interesting. I think it's a mini series, about 4 or 6 issues. And I'll probably try to dig up the other ones, but I just really liked that cover. It's kind of like, it does not look like Jack Kirby art, don't get me wrong, but it's the stance of how Jack Kirby would make characters coming out of the screen at you. Really cool. Like that a lot. And then the last thing I got at this place was really cool. It was in the glass case. Was not a comic, but it was a book from 1933 on how to draw comics. And this was only $25. I was searching it up online, and I saw a comic, one of these that was in worse condition of this, going for like $70. So I think I got a pretty good deal on it. It's not complete. There is one page that's loose, and that it's complete, but it's torn out of the binding. Then there's another page that has part of the artwork cut out, like this much is cut out. But for a book that's from 1933, I think that's a pretty amazing pickup. And it's very interesting in there. There's a page on how to draw hands. There's a page on how to draw feet. Very interesting and quite old, 1933. So heading back down to my parents' house, the next day, I went out in the morning. We were going to have like a kind of like a brunch with all the family and everything. But before they got there, went out in the morning. There's an old bookstore there called Gavin's Used Books. And they have old used books, new used books. And I always like to pop in there when I visit my parents. And so while I was there, I found something that's pretty cool, which is, this is Tintin. Now, if any of you know about Tintin, he was created by Herge, who was, I think, a Belgian cartoonist. And his stories are great. I was exposed to this when I was a child. My godfather moved to France. He was a research doctor, and he went over there, was working for one of the pharmaceutical companies, maybe Sanofi or Ventus, one of those two. He's a big deal guy over there. And he used to give me these as gifts. Now, the interesting thing was the ones that he gave me, they were big. They were like the size of this book. Okay. And you could see the difference here in size, right? So the ones he gave me were like the size of that book. And I found this one in the used bookstore, and it's basically a trade paperback, which is smaller than the size of the comic book. So what's cool about it is it's very handy and easy to read. And even though it's smaller, it has the entire panels of the story, each page. It's just condensed down. So I had all of these from when I was a kid. I love reading these. Tintin is, the stories kind of remind me of like Indiana Jones. He's always going on these crazy adventures, and he gets sucked into these adventures, and there's bad guys and Nazis and commies and all that kind of stuff. But he's not an explorer or an archaeologist like Indiana Jones. He's an investigative reporter, but he keeps getting sucked into these adventures, and they're really thrilling. It's like, you don't want to put it down. So I was really excited to find this because I'm going to enjoy it again, and it's a lot more handy. You can read it. The other thing that's really cool about this is that in addition to the story, it has 20 pages in the back, which give you some background on the story. It gives you background on the author. It gives you background on the adventure. A lot of these characters and a lot of the stories in here were based in things that were in reality. And so this gives you the background on it. So that's really cool. And then lastly, it appears that from the back page that you can find all of the books in this size. So I'm going to keep my eyes out for these. I'm not going to go out and just hit up Amazon and look for them. I'm sure they're there, but I'm going to keep my eyes out for these and see if I can add to my collection with those. So that's everything I got in California. I returned to Hawaii on Sunday. I got in around 12:30, and I had an appointment at 3 o'clock to go to this comic sale. So there's this one local guy who he sells whenever there's comic conventions, he sets up there, but he also does it out of his backyard. He sets up tents in his backyard, and about quarterly, he sends out an email and says, hey, I'm going to be selling comics if you want to come, and you make an appointment time. And he used to just show up whenever, but with COVID, he wanted to space it out. So I made an appointment before I left. I figured, may as well go there when I get back. So I went, and I was digging through his comics, and what did I find? Let me show you what I found here. He had a box. So he's got these different boxes. He's got like a box of 50-cent comics, or 25-cent comics, a box of 50-cent comics, $1 comics, $2 comics, $3 comics, $4 comics in different boxes. And then he's got, like a mini wall. It's like a board with his special books on it. And he's got a couple of boxes of back issues at varying prices. And what he does is he gives sales. So like, if you're a repeat customer, he sends you this email, and it's got a sale in it, and it'll be like 20% off. And if you're over $100, it'll be 25% off. And if you're over $200 or 15, 20, 25%. And then if you pay in cash at the end, he knocks up an additional 5% off. And so this time when I showed up, I've been going there quite a bit. He says he's doing something special for his repeat customers, and he gave me 3 tickets. He said you could take an additional 5% off your 3 most expensive things. And he said, don't worry how much you spend. It's like it'll automatically be 25% for you, and then any of those other bonuses. So I dug through the books, and from the quarter box, so these wound up costing me 15 cents each after the discount. I got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 comics at 15% each. And so the first thing I found was some of these innovation comics. Anne Rice, you might remember, she did like Interview with the Vampire Lestat, and those types of things. So I found a couple of issues. This is the Vampire Lestat, issue number 10. They have these appear to be somewhat like painted covers. The artwork inside looks pretty good. And so there were a couple of these issues in there. So I grabbed the different ones that were available. There were also some issues from this Queen of the Damned, which is, I think, a 10-issue series. And this is issue number 1. And then there was also The Mummy. Anne Rice's The Mummy. I think this is also a 10-issue series, maybe 12. And I think I got issue 1 and 4. The issue numbers are on the back, and I've got boards on them. So I can't remember right now whether this is 1 or 4, but I found that one. And I also found this one. So I figured for, a quarter, turned out to be 15 cents a copy. I'd grab them. And if I can, find the other ones and get the run together, read the story, that'd be great. And if not, for 15 cents, no big loss there. I found this one. This is called, this one, this is Terminator. It's issue number 1, Dark Horse, the second series that they put together, but had a pretty cool cover there. There weren't any other issues of Terminator. There was just this one. I would have grabbed them if they were. And then lastly, I got this one called Terminal Point, which I just saw this. I don't know anything about it. The inside's black and white. This is issue 3, I believe. Yeah, issue 3 of 3. And so hopefully I'll find the other 2 issues. I paged through it. It looks pretty interesting. And that cover is really dope, isn't it? Look, with those reds and the yellows and the, kind of the green smoke kind of looking stuff. I thought that was really cool. And I had never seen that before. And I did actually get one other issue for 15 cents, which I could not believe, which was this, the Champions number 9. Look at that. This thing is in fantastic condition. The only issue with it is that on the back cover, somebody used it to do some long division in pen. So there's some writing on the back cover, but other than that, it's in really nice condition. It's complete, and it's Champions, which I loved when I was growing up. I liked the Champions and the Invaders. Those were the 2 hero groups that I was really interested in. I wasn't really into the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, the X-Men in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, but the Champions and the Invaders, I loved them. So when I saw this for 15 cents, I said, yep, put that in my stack. Then from the $2 stack, which wound up being for me $1.50 after discount, I found 2 comics. I found the first issue of book 1 of Frank Miller's Ronin, and it's in great shape. And this is a thick book. So I'm not really familiar with the story, but I do like Frank Miller, and it looked pretty interesting. So I grabbed that. And then this one I just found out about recently. I'm following this guy on Instagram. I think it's Kevin Taylor Comics, and he's also got a YouTube channel. And this is Spider-Man Tangled Web. That's the name of the series. I'd never heard of it before, but apparently this series is not about Spider-Man so much, but the people that he touches. And so who in his life is affected by his actions. And so this story, Kevin Taylor Comics, he shows comics, and he's collecting comics which have like been nominated for or won different awards. This one was nominated for the Eisner Award for Best Story. And it's very interesting. What happens is the Spider-Man thwarts one of the Kingpin's plan, and then the guy who was in charge of the plan basically gets called on the carpet to the Kingpin, and he's executed for, failing the Kingpin. But I saw that recently, and then it just popped up in the box. So I got that for $1.50. I was really happy to grab that. And then the next 4 comics, they were $3 comics, wound up being like $2.75 after the discount. And this is a nice shiny X-Men 300. I've seen that around before, and I just never grabbed it because it's always been more than I wanted to pay. But for under $3, I grabbed that to add to my X-Men run, and it's one of those 90s bling shiny covers. So that's pretty cool. And then this one I was really happy to find too. Daredevil 255 with Typhoid Mary on the cover. And I have 254 and I have 256. It's like a 3-part story about Typhoid Mary. And I was missing this one. And so I saw this in the his $3 box and grabbed that. It's in great condition. And then this one is just so super cool. This is a Silver Age DC Tales of the Unexpected number 94. Okay, and it's got a train, passenger train. This guy's getting out of the passenger train here. Ticker tape parade for these monsters, and it's just pretty cool. I mean, it's like it's weird Silver Age goodness with just kind of an odd story going on there, sci-fi, aliens. It's got that train in the background, which I like, and it's in good condition. Another one I got for basically the same price, $275, was this Avengers King Size Annual number 8. And nothing special about this one, just it's an annual I don't have yet. And it's got a cool cover there. And for the price and the condition, I added it to my personal collection. All right, a few more from this sale. Those were all the books out of the cheaper boxes. Then I went and looked around. I had those 3 tickets. And so I was able to get Doom Patrol number 36. This one being $10 after my discount. And so what's special about Doom Patrol 36? Anybody know? This is the first appearance of Flex Mentallo. So I've been looking for that. And he actually had several copies of this at different price points, and I didn't want to go crazy on it, but it was a book I wanted to add, and for $10, I did add it. So I got Flex Mentallo in Doom Patrol 36. This is Justice League of America, number 46. Okay, anything special about this one? I got this for $12. That's a steal for this one, considering what it is and the condition that it's in. So this is the first Silver Age appearance of Sandman. That's what's special about this book. First Silver Age appearance of Sandman. And it's got Solomon Grundy, who I like the Silver Age appearances of Solomon Grundy. I like the way he's drawn and basically the character and the interactions with him. So I grabbed this one. I got that for $12. And then the most expensive book that I purchased out of any that I'm going to show you today, but I don't think it might be worth the most. I have one at the end to show you from a different sale, which is pretty special. This one, Doorway to Nightmare, number 1. This is the first appearance of Madame Xanadu. And so I think this was maybe a 4 or a 6 issue miniseries. And this is in very nice shape. It does have a couple of spine color breaking ticks on the spine, one right down here and one up around here. But other than that, it's in very, very nice condition. And he actually had 3 or 4 different copies of these, and some of them were, I got the least expensive one. And after my deal, I paid $50 for this. So that's an expensive buy, but for this, what this comic is going for right now, that was really a steal. I couldn't see any others in this condition for that price. And I've been looking for that, so I was really excited to add that. And so that was the sale that I signed up for. And I went to that. And then when I was done, there's a local comic shop who he was having a Black Friday sale running from Friday through Sunday night. And he had some, different price scales for the different comics. And you didn't need any appointments to that. I wasn't here on Black Friday, but I figured, I have time. I'm not doing anything. I'll just pop in there and take a look. So I went and took a look, and I didn't see anything think his comics were like, everything in the back issue bin was like 50% off. And then the stuff on the wall was like 25%. Well, it was a pretty good sale, but I didn't see anything there that I wanted. But he had two boxes, and he had a long box and a short box. They both said Dollar Comics. And recently he picked up a Golden Age collection, and he's been putting comics out slowly. He's been pricing them and putting them out. You know, he's been finding the more expensive ones in there and pricing them and putting them out. And he makes posts on Instagram so you could see what's happening. And these were just like a lot of the other comics that were in this Golden Age collection. Now, a lot of this stuff was Harvey, and a lot of it was like the Harvey Children stuff, like like Little Dot, Little Lotta, things like that, Casper, etc. So I went looking through the boxes, and this is what I got. These were all $1. I think I got 23 comics. So the first one is, I did get Captain Marvel number 36, right? This is not a Harvey one, but I just grabbed it. I didn't even look at, for $1. I didn't even look, do I have this one or not? It's torn up a little bit here, but I don't care. And it was only $1. Turns out I have this already. So that one's available if somebody needs that. And then I got 3 issues. This is Leave It to Binky, number 68. Kind of like an Archie type thing from DC. Not something that I particularly drawn to, but it's like, for $1, I'll grab it. It's so hard for me. I'm an addict myself when it comes to comics. And it's so hard for me, you know, when I see like 15, 12, 10-cent comics that are like in decent shape and the price is so low, it's so hard for me to leave them there. You know, maybe I'll give this to someone, or someone else is into Binky. So I got this one, Leave It to Binky. And then shortly after that issue, the title changed to just Binky. And so there was also issue number 74, kind of a hip costume she's wearing. Reminds me a little bit of Barbara Eden from I Dream of Jeannie, if anybody remembers that show. And then there was Binky number 76. And, you know, another, you know, you look at the clothes they're wearing, you know, from the time, the late 60s, early 70s, that was the styles. So I got those 3 issues of Binky. For $1, I grabbed this Silver Sale. You see this all the time. This is one of those 90s foil covers, shiny, right? And I've seen this before, and usually I've seen it for like $2, and I have wanted to get it. I like that cover. And so for $1, I threw that in my stack. And then this is Superman number 75. This is the 3rd printing, The Death of Superman. So I already have this, but like I said, I'm an addict, so I grabbed it for $1. It was in really nice condition. Something very cool about this, if you have not opened this up and read this one, if you have it, but you haven't opened it up and read it, you should. What's really cool about this, when I finally opened mine up and read it, what's very cool about this is that every single page is a splash page. And so it's just, the story is, if it's 32 pages, there's 32 panels, right? That's it. There's no smaller panels on each page. That's really cool. And so when I found that out, I just did a little research to look into that. And turns out this is the big event they were building towards. So if you go back each issue before this, the panels get bigger and bigger. And so this was the culmination, right? Where Superman dies. They wanted this big, I think it's a 2-page spread on the very last page, if I remember correctly. Maybe it's 2 page. I can't remember now. It's been a while since I read this, but maybe it's a 2-page spread each page. I think it's 1. But if you go back 3 or 4 issues and start each issue, the panels get bigger and bigger. So I grabbed that one. Some Marvel Bronze Age horror, Crypt of Shadows, number 19. Funny, I had just seen this when I was in California, and I think it was like $5 or $7, and I just passed on it. This was at Captain Nemo's. I was looking through the box. I saw this one. It's $5 or $7. And I was like, oh, I want that, but I don't want to pay that much for it. I'm glad I didn't, because I got it for $1. I don't know how to pronounce this one. Tomb of Ligeia, Tomb of Ligeia. This is a Dell movie classics, and this was a Vincent Price movie, which I think might have been an Edgar Allan Poe story. Not 100% sure. If somebody knows, they can put in the comments. But I thought, wow, that's really cool, and the story inside is really good too. So that was $1. Another one I grabbed because why? It's got the train on the cover. Judge Colt. Does it have a number? This is a Judge Colt with the train on the cover. Sad part about this, I don't know if you can see if I do this. Can't see. But here, somebody must have had a pad of paper and was writing a note or something, because right through here, you could see indentations of words. So maybe that will press out. I don't know. Other than that, it's in pretty good condition. It's got a great cowboy and Indian and Wild West train on the cover. So I grabbed that one. And then I got 1, 2, 3 issues of Luke Cage Power Man. And again, I didn't know if I had them or not, so I just grabbed them for $1. Here's issue number 20. And turns out I already do have this one. So that's another one that I got to figure out what to do with. But the other 2 issues, issue number 23, great cover there, and issue number 35, I did not have. So those were some big scores for $1 for my PC. There were some Archie in there. I do like the Life with Archies. I really prefer the lower value ones, like the 15 and 12 centers. But I grabbed them. I grabbed the higher numbers too, and if they look good. And this one looks good. That is a great cover, isn't it? So I grabbed that. Thrillerama number 1, I think this is. There were 3 Thrilleramas. I do not see the number on here, but Thrillerama, the Man in Black, called Fate. How could I leave that behind for $1? I couldn't, and now I have 2 of them. So it's a great looking book. It's a great Silver Age comic book, and I have 2 of those now. All right, another one. Why? I don't know. I just took it because it was $1, and I don't collect Dudley Do-Right comics. I remember watching him when I was a kid in the cartoons, and it was very funny. And I love Charlton, and I love Silver Age. Here's a 15-cent Dudley Do-Right number 7. This is the final issue of the Dudley Do-Right Charlton run. Isn't that a cool cover? And he's doing something stupid like he always does. All right, what else did I get? This is a good one, I think. Adventure Comics number 437. All right, this is Weird Adventure Comics 437. This is when the Spectre was reintroduced, maybe in 430 or 432. So there's about a 10-issue run with the Spectre in it, and there's some great stories. And I knew I had most of them. Like I said, I didn't bother breaking out my app and looking what I had and didn't have when it was only $1. I just threw it in the pile, and turns out I don't have this one. So I was really happy to get that one. That's a real great cover with the underwater scene and the skeleton grabbing the foot, the ankle. This looks like what? Maybe a barracuda coming at him. Great cover. Spectre. Cool. All right. This is a great find for $1. Look at this. Bunny. This is Bunny number 21. This is the final issue in the run. Check these out. These go for like $20, $30. This is in great shape. This is in really good shape. There was one little tear right over here. I folded it over. Other than that, I mean, it is beautiful. And I like finding these bunny comics. I have 3 or 4 of them now. Each one I've only paid maybe $3 to $4 for them. One of them I paid $20 for. Most of them I find good deals on. Not as in good condition as this one, but this was a real great deal for $1, I think. Check that out, see what that goes for. I think you'll find it goes for $15, $20, $25 condition like that. All right. And so I'm getting into the cream of the crop here, starting with that bunny. Here's the next one, which was a fantastic deal. Okay. This is Harvey Hits number 44, The Phantom. All right. I love The Phantom. I would say probably The Phantom is my #1 favorite character. When I was a kid, I loved The Phantom. I loved Dick Tracy. I loved Spider-Man, Tintin. He was my favorite. Anything I could find with The Phantom, I would read it. Big Little books, comic books, coloring books, anything. Harvey Hits had Phantom stories, about 8 or 10 of them in that ballpark. And they weren't consecutive. They were sporadic throughout. These are tough to find. Now, this is in very low condition. This is in very low condition. It has got a lot of color breaking creases. I think it's loose at one of the staples, maybe both. One page has like about an inch tear in it, but it is complete. It's all there. It presents very well. And so I grabbed it. And this is not a $1 comic. This is a lot more than that. I did already have this one, and I knew it, but I didn't care because 1, I'm a comic book addict, and 2, The Phantom. All right. And this, you do not see these. These are Harvey Hits Phantom. They are tough to find. So that one was a super awesome score. Then after I found that one, I couldn't believe this. The other character that I really loved from my childhood was Dick Tracy. And so here's Harvey Comics, excuse me, Dick Tracy, number 119. Okay. These Dick Tracy comics are so awesome. The covers are fantastic. They got great colors. There's always great action going on. And the stories are fantastic. It's a whole story for the whole book. And you know how I told you that Superman had the 1 panel per page? The Dick Tracys have like 16 panels a page. So it's smaller, right? The pictures are smaller, but there is so much story that is told. I love these. So I could not believe when I saw this in there for $1. Now, it's not a super expensive book, but it's not a $1 book. It's probably an $8 or $10 book. And then not only did I find one Dick Tracy, I also got a Dick Tracy number 122. All right, another great cover. There is some issues with this one. Right up here, there's a chip missing. So these are not super high grade, but they are very presentable and they're all complete. And they were $1. And not only did I find 2 Dick Tracys, but I also found a 3rd Dick Tracy. This is number 123, another 10-cent Golden Age Dick Tracy, Harvey. Beautiful. Look at that. I was so stoked to find first The Phantom, then keep digging and find Dick Tracy. Okay. And I have one more comic to show you. This is the cream of the crop, I think. This is Spirit number 15. Look at that. Now, I have no idea how much this comic goes for, but this comic book is in extremely good condition for the age that it is. Okay. There's a little bit of a fold over tear here. All right. And then the spine is a little bit crinkly here. It could use a cleaning. It's complete. It's all there. And look at that presentation. It is beautiful. Now, here's the thing about this one. This is, where does it say it? Yeah, right up here by my finger. This is the Canadian edition. So I can't find any information on this one. If you look up this issue, from I think it's Quality Comics, maybe Crestwood. I'm pretty sure it's Quality Comics. This issue, look up this issue, and one that's in horrible condition is selling for $75, and ones that are in better condition are selling for $150 to $200. It's not the Canadian edition. I don't know what that does to the value. I don't care. I just think that having an old golden age Will Eisner Spirit comic is super cool. And for $1, yes, coming home with me. So that's all I have to share with you for this comic book haul. I hope you've enjoyed it. Put something in the comments about that Spirit and about that Canadian edition Spirit. If you know anything about it, you could help me out. But what do you think? I think I did pretty good. I did have that one pricey comic in there, that Doorway to Nightmare, first appearance of Madame Xanadu. Everything else, boy, I think I got some great deals. I don't think I mentioned it, but in the beginning, all those Archie comics I got, they were either 99 cents or $1.99. Nothing was more than $1.99 on those. So I did really good. I'm really happy with this haul. And thanks for sticking around and watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, comic addicts.